my name's James Nicholson and welcome to my YouTube channel. The Leasehold Reform Act has had another reading in Parliament and it's not looking good. There's some bad news in there and we want to cover all of that in this video and just really get you updated on what is happening. Now, this was announced in the King's speech last year and it came with big fanfare. The government was saying pretty much we were getting very close to abolishing leasehold. Labour said if they get into power, which looks likely, they will abolish leasehold. And so the government started moving this a lot faster. They promised us to abolish ground rent. They promised us to get rid of marriage value. Both of those things are not happening, as you will see. In fact, there's also some loopholes and clauses which actually mean that leasehold might not be going anywhere for certain people. So make sure you do watch this to the end. Do subscribe to the channel over there and hit the bell notification. We've got new content every single day. We've got tons of videos about the Leasehold Reform Act. So you really want to make sure that you get that. And smash the like button or tickle the like button. Do something to the like button over there. That really helps me with the YouTube algorithm. And lastly, could you share this? I'm sure you know someone that owns a leasehold property that could do with this information. Comment below if you do share it. I'd love to know. So, what's going on? Well, this is moving quite quickly. So that's the good news, right? Good news out the way. It doesn't get much better after this. Now, it is interesting that in the King's speech, they talked about a number of different things. And the Leasehold Reform Act is one that we thought maybe is just all talk and nothing's going to happen. But they've had multiple readings in Parliament now, and they are starting to move this forward. One thing that's missing at the moment, and looking like it's not going in though, is the ground rent abolished. This is really frustrating for a lot of people. There are some ground rents, especially in London, that double every 10 years. Now, that might seem okay if the ground rent's 100 quid, but quite quickly, depending on when that doubling started, some people are paying as much as £10,000 a year for ground rent. What do you get for that? Nothing. It's just a tax almost that the landlord gives you. And the Conservatives were adamant when they launched this Leasehold Reform Act that ground rent would be abolished. It's been forgotten in all of the readings. It's pretty much coming to the end now. We're looking like this will be done by May. Ground rent is not looking likely to happen. Now, there is already a ground rent update where if you do extend your lease already, this is already something that's already passed. If you extend your lease now for any reason, your ground rent will be abolished or turned into a peppercorn, which is basically nothing. But some people, maybe you've got a 200-year lease. Why would you extend your lease just to get rid of the ground rent? It's not great, not fair, and I think it's not too good at all. So what else is going on? So management companies. This one is pretty good. And so you'll now have the right to ask the management company for accounts. You'll be able to ask for an annual meeting. And if they don't do this stuff, you can get rid of the management company. You'll also have the right, if, let's just say you're in a block of 4 people, if the majority agree, or if you're in with 100, if the majority agree, you can self-manage now. Now, for some people that could be great, for others, not so good. I've got a property in Hastings, we self-manage, and one person is very argumentative, it's frustrating, it's annoying. I wish we had a management company. I've got other properties where we've got a management company and it's fine. But I've got others where we self-manage and it's wonderful. It's cheaper. We get more done. The property's in better condition. So there are pros and cons on both of those things. You need to look at who's in your block, who's on your land. Will it work? It could. And so that's an option that you'll have. You'll also be able to take management companies to tribunals. Tribunals, I can't even say it. Tribunals. And you'll be able to take them to a tribunal if you have a problem, which is good. You'll also be able to, if the management company is not dealing with something which they should be in a timely manner, get temporary accommodation at their cost. These sorts of things are going to push management companies to act. That's really, really important here. At the end of the day, if you've got a property, you want the management company to look after it because you're an owner. You're a leaseholder, you still own part of that. So that's interesting to see. What's in here still is the 990-year extension. That means that when you extend your lease, you can now extend it for 990 years. When this passes, roughly in May, that is a big change. And that's going to be a winner. Right now, for houses, I think it's 50 years, flats, 90 years. That means that you'll never have to extend again in your lifetime. You'll never get a short lease again. And that's very, very positive news. Now, it's going to be cheaper to extend. But one thing that's not happening is marriage value isn't going totally. So, marriage value is where you extend your lease and the value that it goes up in value. Let's just say you had a house that's worth 200 grand, but with a short lease, it's worth 100 grand. We'll use easy numbers. And then if you extended the lease back to 990 years, it would be worth 200 grand again. What happens now with this thing called marriage value is whatever the value increases, which in this case is 100 grand, you would split equally. And that's the cost that you would pay. So you'd pay £50,000 to extend the lease. That's a lot of money. Now what they're saying is, and it's still not clear exactly how this works, we need the calculation on this, but it's going to be roughly half the price. So we're getting marriage value light. That's what it's going to be. That is a frustration. They've told us that they would be getting rid of marriage value. They didn't. Maybe Labour, if they get in, will change this. But right now, that's a killer for a lot of people. So marriage value is still there. I would call it marriage value light. It's like half the price. That's what you're probably going to be paying. Now, this is probably the worst part of it. And this got brought into it in this reading. And there's a loophole here. And the loophole for developers is that if they sell the property as a retirement property, they can still use the old lease. The old lease techniques, the short leases, all of this sort of stuff, the ground rents, all of this stuff, they can run it as a normal leasehold property. If it's a retirement property, so for retirement, and that will mean existing retirements, or if the land under the property is also leased land. That, I don't know how many that people are impacted by that, but that's where we're at. So this isn't the best news. So the real takeaways for most people here are ground rent is not looking like it's going to be abolished. That's a cost, right? It will be abolished if you extend your lease, but it's not just going to be abolished like they said it potentially was. Marriage value is the other one. It's not going to be abolished. It's looking like it's sticking around, but I would call it marriage value light. Marriage value light. It's going to be like half the price. Still a lot of money. Let me know what you feel is missing from this. Have they lied to us? Do you think that all of this is kind of irrelevant because Labour's going to get in and just abolish all this stuff anyway? Comment below. Let me know your thoughts on this. Do subscribe to the channel. I've got a leasehold reform guide that I want to give you as well with all of the updates on what's going on. So click in the link below and grab that free guide and that will give you some great details on this. Do share the video. Let some people know about the channel and do check out some other content, including this video right here.